Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It's time for the final 9 holes of the 2023 Maricopa Open, presented by Infinite Discs. Copper Sky Disc Golf Course is where we've been all weekend and where we're going to close it out. Andrew Marwede trying to make a charge after our leader in Anthony Barela, Bhrahsten Waugh, along with Aaron Gossage, all rounding out our lead card. Right now, it looks like a 2-man race. Excited for our PDGA A-Tier, again, presented by Infinite Discs, along with tournament directors Sam and Chuck Russ, ready to go. And wasn't clear about it in a number of videos. The name you're seeing beneath all of the holes are various video sponsors. They had stepped up and reached out to the tournament and ultimately became video sponsors. So thank you to all of those people and or companies that you've been seeing. I guess I wasn't very clear on that throughout. I really should have been. Forehand now coming by one Andrew Marwede. You see the Mando sign directly in the middle of your screen there. You must navigate to the left of that. Third forehand in a row. Really hanging it out over those trees or around those trees seems like the best play regardless. And that one gets caught up, but it looks like it gets around the good side of the Mando. So it shouldn't be a problem. Now he's going to have a long look. This is Bhrahsten. See a left to right wind, which is not going to be great for the next few holes. They're about to do a 90-degree turn when they head over to hole number 11. So they'll be essentially going to their left from where they are. And that means a headwind, at least for the next 2 holes, maybe even actually the next 3 holes. Barela not able to connect. AB doing work out here. He got 7 out of the front 9. Correction, 6 out of the front 9. Marwede got 8 out of the front 9. And it looks like they're going to match each other here. Barela came in with a 4-stroke advantage. Marwede has cut that in half. Gossage struggled in the early goings, but now we'll start out the back 9, 1 under. Played the front even par. No problems on the cleanup. With so much OB available on this course throughout and the Mandos, 2 strokes is far from comfortable. I think about how 2 strokes could get swung instantly on even just the final hole. So there's very few leads. Unless it's a blowout, I don't feel like any lead is completely safe, and that almost rings it up. Great spiking forehand by Gossage. Much lower attempt. And you see again that flag that's out there. That's going to looks like a park job. That flag directly in front of your screen or that pole. They must go to the left of that. I like the angle here by Barela. And he checks up. He'll be safe. Much higher for Bhrahsten. This could be trouble. You see putting it up into the wind. It's actually more of a little bit of a head, more of a cross almost. That's going to push it out of bounds. Still left with an opportunity to save the par here, though. Give me circle 2. What a connection. Great putt. Barela near the edge of the fence. Still has a look for birdie. Ring it up. He's 7 under through 11, so a great pace. We saw what he did in round 1. Well, you didn't see it. The scorecard showed us. He shot a 12 under. Round 2, you did see. He came back out, shot an 11 under. And so round 3, he's certainly on pace to keep up with what he's been doing the first couple of rounds. 7 under through the front 11, or the first 11. We head over to 12, 420 feet, featuring a double island. And as you can see, the wind, essentially a headwind. And the worst possible outcome. Connecting and going out of bounds. So he's going to move to the drop zone. He's actually going to gain distance by going to the drop zone. One of those very rare scenarios. I can't think of too many other places where that happens. You throw it short of somewhere and you're actually going to gain distance, and this is going to have to come back hard. And just not enough for AB to fight that wind. He just put it out too wide, right out of his hand. Bhrahsten have the right angle. And it looks like, oh no, he comes up short. Even though there was some clapping, we thought that was good, but he doesn't get all the way to the deep island. So he'll go to a drop zone. Oh no, still out of bounds for Gossage. So this is exactly what I was worried about in watching us move to this hole, just knowing that you're going to be fighting with this wind as AB is now on the island. He'll have a long look at saving the par. We saw him take the eagle too back in round 2. I love the angle here. Big skip. Otherwise, good-looking shot. Just too much skip. Meanwhile, Marwede's thinking, man, I'm saving strokes left and right here by just pitching up. Seems like he should be all but guaranteed a par, and that tree hit may have even saved him a stroke. So we saw the OBs and the drop zones and such come into play heavily for Gossage back on 2, and it feels like hole 12 is kind of doing the same for him, unfortunately. And solid par save there for Bhrahsten. AB, similar look. Slightly shorter distance, but this is his chance to save the par. This could be knotted up if he doesn't convert, because Marwede's looking at a birdie. Oh, and it just barely slides in. I feel like that looks so similar to his opening putt of the round. Hole number 1 came in low. It kind of slid up, thought about staying in, but then ends up sliding back out. And that's going to be a double bogey for Gossage. So Barela is going to stay at 30. Meanwhile, very easily, we're going to see Marwede pick up the birdie, and he's within 1 and just 6 holes left to play. if there's any stroke swings here on 13. Very narrow, tiny island green. And that looks wide, and it stays wide, out of bounds. So Marwede, after just gaining a little more momentum, goes out of bounds on the tee. He goes to a drop zone. There's a chance to save par from over there. But with the wind, no putt is guaranteed. Barela, on the other hand, a near perfect drive finding the island. Wind up 2 more notches. And it doesn't fight hard enough. Everything is pushing from left to right, or maybe from that, we'll say 10 o'clock position down on them. So they really need to fight it. We saw Andrews way too wide. We saw Bhrahsten's just a little wide, and that is on point for Gossage. Oh, the hesitation. He wanted to run after it. He thought he saved the par, and it did look good. Gets a little bit of a roll away, but looking at bogey at best. See the flags blowing here for Marwede. And not exactly a tap-in for Marwede for bogey either. And to put this a little bit in perspective, as Andrew's going to have either a bogey or double bogey here. He had no bogeys in round 1. He had 1 bogey in round 2, and that was hole number 3. This man's had 1 bogey in 48 holes of golf. All right, and he limits it to just a bogey there. So that means 2 bogeys in 2 rounds of golf plus these 13 holes. So you can see why he's right there neck and neck with Barela. Barela, on the other hand, has had a triple bogey and no other over par strokes. He did that back on hole 2 yesterday. So now a 3-stroke ball game after the big swing there. Gives Barela a little more breathing room. That'll check up short and left of pin. The pin kind of blends in nicely, whether it's the soccer kids or one of the poles back there. So that looks short and right of the pin now. Crucial to see how Marwede bounces back after giving up 2 strokes on the previous hole. On the backhand, pushes left and over the sidewalk, so he's going to be out of bounds again. Maybe more breathing room for Barela. And look how much lower we see this release compared to what we just saw from Marwede. Question is, how much skip will it get? Just a little. And this hole, which is very reachable 9 out of 10 times, well, is playing a little tougher with some of this headwind here today. Or crosswind at this point. And then clearly trying not to juice it too much to go up and over the sidewalk. And that's going to leave a little bit of work to do. So now Barela has to be thinking he can gain 1, maybe 2, pending the outcome of Marwede's putt. And just off the front of the cage. So Barela doesn't get a favorable roll either. Yeah, those are short putts, but nobody likes to have to make those, especially when you're so close to making it in the first place. You're never excited about those types of comebacks, and that's exactly what Bhrahsten's experiencing. Thinking, how did I let my birdie putt just get away from me? Now Marwede with a chance to save par, and he's going to do so easily. So he's going to remain at 28. That's 9 under for the round. Gossage cleans up. And that's why you hold your breath sometimes. Barela is going to clean up. He is 8 under for the round. They're going to head over to hole number 15. Well, you heard him say it, that he grip locked it. And he's way off to the right. Of course, that's the safer place to be. That should be an easy up and down, but really taking him out of birdie contention. That's not, from that distance, you don't want to run too hard at it, knowing that you could find the OB sidewalk, which might happen. Oh, and that's going to eventually sit down completely surrounded by pavement. Remember, if any part of your disc is touching inbounds, you're in. But if no part of your disc is touching inbounds, you don't get it. Marwede, safe. That looks to be the closest of the group. Nice work there by Bhrahsten. AB can give this a stab. He just has to be careful. And a great run it was. On line, little low. Could have been the wind that he misread, or he just might have released it low. But we can see that Marwede is definitely within range and is going to try and tighten this up even more. Somewhat shocking for me to see that 15 this time did play just a smidge under par. Played at 2.8. All right, I lied. I was looking at day 2. Day 3 stats, it played over par. Maybe I'm a little less shocked by that then. 3.02. Should I edit that? We all make mistakes. I mean, if you went over par on this hole, you made a mistake, right? I'm down with that. Check out in the description. There's a link to head over and get 20% off any of the Distinguished Doodle products made right in Arizona. And they're supporting disc golf. Uh-oh, there's a mistake. Marwede not putting it up high enough to get around those trees, or over those trees really is the play. Not so much around as much as over. Good line, but short for Waugh. AB putting it way out there, asking for it to drop. Per his reaction, I'm guessing it didn't get the best ground play. And now we're seeing this go out over the tree. Very similar to what we saw from AB, maybe a little flatter. And that's going to be on the high right side. And you're right, it doesn't make sense. I agree with you, Gossage, saying, how does it get an anti-skip on a downward slope that he's coming in on? Sometimes math just doesn't make sense. Sometimes the wind doesn't make sense. You see AB frustrated there. Things just not going right for Gossage here today, but I don't know. Speaking of math, I just had to acquire a TI-84 calculator, and if you're old enough, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I had to get one for my 14-year-old. My question to you guys is, do you know where yours is? What'd you do with your TI-84 or 83 or TI-85, whatever it was? What'd you do with your calculator? Those things should just be permanently recycled. Nobody should ever be buying a new one, because for 99.9 of you, as soon as you're done using that, in whatever grade you used it, you probably never touched that graphing calculator again. So put that in the comments. Where is your graphing calculator? Do you know? Did you pass it on? That's what I want to know. Oh, no. Marwede. I am in complete shock of seeing Marwede not connect from short range, or clearly he threw it high and he's getting punished because the wind then continued to carry it. It just skipped right off the top, but I can count on about 2 fingers how many times I've seen something like that from Marwede. Maybe a lapse in concentration. He kind of looked off to the side. I don't know if there might have been a slight distraction. But either way, that's going to be possibly an insurance stroke for Barela at this stage in the round. Just 17 and 18 left to play. That's going to make any form of official comeback here that much tougher. Maybe you could graph that chart. I don't know. I don't think you'd want to. I don't know what that equation is. Meanwhile, Bhrahsten earns the tee box. You just might keep it with a shot like that. Beautiful drive. 17 coming in as the 3rd easiest hole of the round. I'm looking at round 3 stats. Average 2.72. Little second guessing on that shot. Now, Gossage. He's going to like that. This looks high and wide. Maybe too wide. You got to put it up there, but that might be too wide. And we don't see it come close to the basket, and this is why, because it's landed way out there. And so the long jumper essentially is going to guarantee him the par. Now, I feel like Barela could most definitely put it away with a birdie here. High left chain, giving still just maybe a sliver of hope. A tiny one, a tiny sliver of hope, possibly, to Andrew Marwede, if he could not only take advantage, but maybe have Barela slip up on the last hole. But that's, again, just a sliver. We don't have UDisc win probabilities at this point, at this particular event, but I feel like they're definitely in AB's favor, as they should be. He's trying to close it out. A couple of park jobs, though. And speaking of closing it out, thank you to all the supporters and sponsors that have been on screen. Also, all the individual transitions. Shop.thedisc golf guy is a place you can pick up some merch. Of course, our title sponsor of the event is Infinite Disc. They do an incredible job nationwide, worldwide. Obviously, a ton of products. Every product you could really want is out there as well. Thank you to Sam and Chuck, Russ, your tournament directors, and just all of the love and support that my channel always receives as being part of an Arizona-based event. been in Maricopa for quite a few years. And it's just an honor to have my channel cover it. Big thanks to Spicy Boy along with Tyler, who really both assisted to make this one happen, as I was physically in Thailand at this very moment when this was going down. So sometimes I have to make sacrifices, and being in Thailand was just one of those sacrifices I had to make this given weekend. So the timing works out next year, I'll be there in Maricopa. If I think back a few years, I'd have to do the math, but I believe it was at this event where Anthony Barela accepted his first ever cash as a professional player. And I was there to record that, which was a very exciting moment. You guys want to guess the year? I'll go out and try and look. I don't honestly recall the exact year, even though I have a pretty good idea. All right, I've given you enough time. I mean, if you paused and put it in the comments. We're seeing a couple of safe shots. That's going to set up really well for the birdie for Marwede, but Anthony Barela also with the safe shot. Looks like he's going to be able to hold off Marwede. The year 2016, which is insane to think about. Anthony Barela finished runner-up at this event to one David Felberg, and he accepted the cash, which was his first ever official PDGA cashing. And that gets over the ridge and will also give him still a birdie look. 2016. I might have been tall. I probably wasn't taller than him then. Wow, and feel like he was hunting that one down. Thank you to all the gracious competitors that were on coverage throughout the weekend as well. It's been a real pleasure. It's a possibility we'll see the other Maricopa course in the mix in 2024, we can hope, although the HOA ultimately makes that decision. So that's why you saw all 3 rounds out here at Copper Sky this year. Great to still have this PDGA A tier take place in the early part of our disc golf season. Anthony Barela, 8 under effort, trying to close it out. And with that, he goes to 9 under and secures the victory. Anthony Barela, your 2023 Maricopa Open champion, presented by Infinite Disc. Congratulations to him. And also a monumental moment. This is AB's first ever win with his brand new sponsor in Discraft. Big off-season switch that we saw. Great performance as well by Andrew Marwede. We expect nothing else of him. He's going to finish in second. And with that, Spicy Boy was looking forward to interviewing whoever the winner is. I think he's trying to take my job, working a camera, doing the interviews. Regardless, we're going to hear from our champion, Anthony Barela. Like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you at the next one.
What's going on, everybody? Spicy Boy checking in from beautiful Maricopa, Arizona. And your 2023 Maricopa Open, presented by Infinite Disc champion Anthony Barela here. Anthony, your first one with Discraft. It's a new bag. Super stoked for you. What was your game plan going into the round?
Game plan is the same as the last 2 days. Just throw them where I want to and just make putts. My putting was pretty good the whole weekend, but today was a little shaky, but I drove so well that it didn't matter.
Yeah, you were parking them for sure. Putting game's been on the last couple days. Had that eagle putt on 12 yesterday. And we know your new teammate and good buddy Adam Hammis is taking this event 3 years in a row. Feel good to get one back from him?
Yeah, it does. I won the tournament before he went on the 3-peat, so.
Yeah, in 2019.
Yeah.
I was doing a little reading earlier, but congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Quite a win.
Appreciate
and anything you want to say, sponsors, friends, family, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Discraft. It's been tough dialing in these discs, but I think I finally got it. Shout out Grip, Pastry Dyes, and Resistance Discs.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Anthony.
Yep.
Have a good one.